Hello, hopefully you've watched my previous video. So part 2. I wasn't doing too great with my husband, and we were having a little problems, and like I said in my previous video, I started going back into my old ways, my old habits. We were fighting quite a bit. Don't think I really valued, or I felt overly confident in how God had saved me, and I think I wasn't to the point where I feared him yet. So they told me I wouldn't have any more kids. I have 2 kids, 2 beautiful kids, and I was in menopause. So because I was in menopause, that means you don't menstruate because of the chemo. So in November, I menstruated one time, and in December I didn't menstruate at all. So in December we normally go to Mexico with our families to go it's called this desfile, where guys take out girls to go on ride on horses and stuff like that. So anyways, off track. I ended up finding out I was pregnant before going to Mexico, and I didn't know how or why I was so fertile, Myrtle, but it happened, and I was pissed because I didn't understand why God would give me a child and then take that child away. So I ended up going to my doctors and I told her, hey, look, I'm pregnant. And she said, nope, you can't have that baby. You need to have an abortion. Neither you or your heart is strong enough. So I was like, okay, I didn't believe in abortions. So I ended up going to the clinic. And as I sat there, I bawled my eyes out on that table. I plugged myself. I went out. Sorry. I went out. I went back home. I went into prayer. And I told God, please, through the doctor, whatever the doctor says, me and my whole family put it in prayer. Whatever the doctor says, that's what's going to happen. So in January, I had to have an abortion. And the end of January, me and my husband were, that kind of month of January, me and my husband were trying to make it work. End of January, my head was hurting, and I thought it was maybe because of my abortion situation. And it wasn't. I went to go get an MRI. And on Valentine's Day, me and my husband went out to the movies. And I remember the doctor called. And she said, Leslie, you have a tumor in your head and we need you to come in. 2 days later, she said, Leslie, it's not 1 tumor, it's 3. We still need you to come in. So I go in. They tell me I have about 3 to 6 months to live. They go ahead and put me on steroids to control the swelling in my brain. Good morning, guys. This is what my face looks like when it starts paralyzing. So don't think I'm mad dogging you. I think I look kind of good. What do you think? And don't feel bad for me. I woke up. All I gotta do is look hot, go to my damn appointment, come back, they cook for me, feed me, and and I'm getting spoiled, man. I got it good. And I look like a thug. That caused me to hallucinate. I was getting super obsessed with the Bible. I was seeing so many signs, having so many visions, so many vivid dreams where I would go to heaven. One time I dreamed that the sky opened up and I was in front of like a shopping mall, and I heard 7 trumpets, and all of a sudden, like, whoosh, my body went into heaven, or what I believe was heaven. And from there I saw Jesus, and he told me something, but I didn't understand. I don't remember. I don't recall. So from there, I started getting obsessed, like super obsessed with the Bible, and seeing the numbers 333 and butterflies, like everywhere, butterflies. And before I knew I was crazy, what I call crazy, I ended up calling 911 on myself because I was hallucinating. I was telling them that I was on steroids, that the drugs were, I guess, making me believe that I couldn't breathe. So they ended up moving the surgery prior to that. I ended up going into surgery like the next day. So when we were on our way to the hospital, around 1,000 butterflies flew in front of my car. And I told my husband, look, God is going to do a miracle. When I got to the hospital, my surgery was programmed around 1. And my husband and them were taking pictures of me. And I said, don't worry, it's all okay. And he said, Leslie, do you notice what's behind you? And I turned around and I look, and it was 3 rows of 3 butterflies. The 333 I had been seeing, and the butterflies. And like I said, the surgery was scheduled for 1 o'clock, and I didn't end up getting called back until, guess what time? 3:30. And it was programmed for 3 hours and 3 hours and 30 minutes. After this, I started seeing a lot of signs and miracles. And it's not that I'm special, and it's not that, I think it was more because I would complain about God, and I would reject him and his son, and I wouldn't believe, and I would constantly question it. If God this, then why that? If God that, then why this? After we were out of the hospital, he told me to get a notebook with pens and pencils, and he told me to not let anybody read it because a lot of things were going to happen there, and they did. And I'm still waiting on some. Sometimes it makes me sad how ungrateful we are. I'm sitting here and I can't get up, and it makes me think about how I never really gave thanks for walking. It sucks, but I'm trying. I didn't go through just one surgery, but I went through 3 brain surgeries. Hey guys, just wanted to remind you how lucky and blessed you are to be okay, to be healthy. walking with God isn't always easy. Sometimes I think, why did God choose me? I'm the most imperfect person. I say the most wrong things. I do the most wrong things. But then I remember He doesn't make mistakes, right? I think sometimes I get tired of being strong. Sometimes I get tired of medicine and surgeries. But I gotta remember to stay strong because He keeps me strong. Because He gives me faith. And sometimes I really do think that's the reason I still keep going. I don't know what I would do without God.
Guys, thank God everything went perfect. I'm so good, so happy. All I want to do is eat.
Is it my imagination or not? But sometimes I swear God's taking care of me. There's this dove that comes and stands there, and I was looking doves versus pigeons, and that's a dove. Creepy? A miracle? Coincidence? What do you guys think? In times of Moses, God did miracles, and He parted the sea, and He asked Moses to free His people. And He opened the sea, and He crossed them through the sea, and still people didn't believe. And I'm like, okay, in times of Jesus, God did miracles, God did signs and wonders, but He couldn't do as many miracles as He wanted because He said there was unbelievers. So I'm asking you, do you believe?